Maximize your wealth now.
Yes, in business, finance, family, and lifestyle. Think about it. As a certified financial educator, my whole goal for this program originally was to bring business and finance together with spiritual principles and universal laws. And all of it needs to come from the heart. Got it?
Maximize your wealth now.
Absolutely. Yes!
Welcome back to Maximize Your Wealth Now.
In business, finance, family, and lifestyle.
We are so blessed today to have Asha Mankowska here from Poland. And she is a business coach who's been featured in Forbes magazine. So woohoo!
Yeah, she's going to give us some great information. And we also have Debra Dupree, Dr. Debra Dupree, and she teaches about relationship. And I know that some of us have the hardest time with relationship and leadership, and that's the pointers that she's going to give us today. So I'm really excited to have her on the set. And we don't want to delay today, so let's get started right away.
Now.
Debra Dupree has a passion for supporting professionals who are ready to take the next step in their careers and lives, but are stuck in old, troubling behaviors. She has over 30 years studying human psychology, the neuroscience behind emotion, and techniques for freeing current behavior from past traumas. Debra has been featured in Newsweek as one of San Diego's top psychotherapists, recognized by the Los Angeles Federal Executive Board for her mediator expertise, and distinguished as a leader in dispute resolution by the Southern California Mediation Association and the Association for Conflict Resolution. Today, Dr. Debra combines her years of experience in psychotherapy, meditation, and conflict coaching to guide professional men and women in breaking through to new ways of living. Her book, The Emotional Potential, is the foundation for a new training program specifically designed for the legal community. Watch as Debra uncovers simple techniques to recover from life's challenges.
Welcome back, and we are so excited to have Dr. Debra Dupree with us because she knows how to make our relationships work. So let's get started talking to her. Hi, Debra.
Well, good afternoon. Hello. How are you?
Good. It's wonderful to have you here with us. So tell us a little bit about you and what your mission is for the world.
Well, thank you, Shirlene. And again, first of all, let me say thank you for the opportunity to be here. This is really great. I would say my mission in the world is really to help people move through their pain points that happen throughout life. You know, things that could be childhood traumas, emotional, even physical abuse. Certainly as we grow into adults and our relationships that we have, work issues, bad bosses, money issues. A lot of trauma happens, and it helps people get stuck sometimes.
Yes. Stuck is an understatement. I've been stuck in those kind of places in the past myself, and it takes a lot to get out of them if you don't have someone to guide you and show you another way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if we could see so clearly, we probably wouldn't have gotten into those stuck messes to begin with.
Yes,
right?
that see into the future thing, right?
Right.
So tell us how you go about supporting those of us who do get stuck. What's the answer to that question? Because sometimes I just sit and wait, and I have a lot of patience now. I didn't as a child, but I do now, and I wait for the answer, but it isn't always forthcoming. And sometimes I think if somebody could just guide me to that better place, maybe it would happen so much faster.
Well, it definitely will, because what we know in today's world is that, with some structured intervention, actually in about 12 weeks, we can really start to see a turnaround in terms of people really gaining insight, awareness, understanding, and actually choosing new behaviors using the tools that they've been provided. So it's a matter of doing some one-on-one coaching as well as, assessments. The willingness to actually go back and explore what some of those difficult moments in time have been about so that we can start to sort of de-link or unlink, however you want to say it, what's happened in the past so we don't keep moving it forward in the future. Because there's a lot that can happen emotionally that gets buried. And particularly if we are exposed to early childhood traumas, we're not even consciously aware of them. But they can really be drivers of our behavior as we continue to go on.
That's so true. I know that unless you have somebody to help walk you through like you said, de-link it, right? So we bring that stuff forward and we behave in those ways in our life ongoing unless we have somebody that really helps to be that catalyst for our change. And that's what I'm hearing. You are a catalyst for change when people are feeling stuck or can't move forward, or maybe they're bringing their old stuff forward and it really isn't serving them. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. That is an example of a young woman I've been working with, and very intelligent, very educated, actually was quite accomplished in her position as an assistant dean of a major school. And yet, after hearing me speak, she came up to me and said, "I've got to work with you." I was a little surprised. And as she went on to say, she said, "I've been here for 5 years and I don't have any friends. Wow. I'm unable to move forward with my career to the next step. And I know that I lack credibility with my peers. And I need to talk about this because I have enough awareness that I can see the emotional trauma that I was put through by some of my family members, not my mom and dad, but some family members that continue to plague me. I don't trust people. I fear deeper relationships, and I don't want to keep living this way."
Wow, so that was a blessing that you were there and you happened to be speaking and she heard you and it resonated and she reached out to you. So what a blessing. And I'm sure, how's her life today?
Much better, yeah. We've been working. Yeah, she's going to continue on for a little bit, but she is just, she was like I like to put things on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best, of course, 10, and 0 being the worst. And so as I work with people, I'll periodically say, where were you when we started? And where do you see yourself now? And so it's a way of sort of informally, assessing the progress that they've made that they may not be aware of themselves.
Yes.
So I just asked her this question 2 weeks ago, and she said, "I think I was about a 1 or 2. Pretty miserable, yeah. But still going through the mechanics of life, working, she was married, all these things, but not happy." And so I asked her, "Well, where would you say you are now?" She said, "I would have to say I'm an 8.
Wow.
That's
I'm often asked how to go about finding the right training and certification company for your professional coaching business. The problem is that finding the right professional coach training and certification company can feel overwhelming and confusing. The good news is that it doesn't have to be difficult if you know what questions to ask. Searching for the right professional coach training and certification company to suit your needs can be challenging. Finding a company with flexibility that's globally accepted, affordable, and credible can feel like a tough search. So I'd like to give you a few things to consider when looking for a professional coach certification company that will suit your needs. Tip number 1. You want to make sure that your company is proven in the marketplace. The reason we've trained over 6,000 professional coaches is because we teach a system of coaching. The coaching system is easy to learn and easy to implement. Tip number 2. You want to make sure you work with a company that is affordable. Some companies charge upwards of $10,000 to $15,000, which is unnecessary. You can get a third-party accredited education for under $1,000. Tip number 3. You want to find a training that doesn't drag on for a year or even longer. You will benefit by jumping in and moving forward, and after all, coaching isn't difficult if you have the right training. At Wainwright Global Institute of Professional Coaching, we help individuals just like you who want to make a difference in the world become certified professional coaches with only 16 hours of live online training that's affordable and easily accessible. To learn more, simply go to lifecoachtrainingonline.com, where you can access our free ebook about 52 different coaching niches working miracles every day. Or call us at 800-711-4346. We're happy to help you determine the best professional coach training for your needs.
with people that don't see that they are the person that actually causes the problem for themselves? How do you get them to wake up? Or maybe they wouldn't come to you in the first place because it's always everybody else's fault, right?
That's very true. Unfortunately, that is one of the biggest challenges for people who, always blame others. I like to say play the blame and shame game.
Yes.
They are not real open to seeking help because they don't see it as their problem. And yet, so there's a couple of things that can happen. Either something sort of devastating that is a wake-up call. And at that point then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing well with this. And so it might not be their contribution to the problem that really brings them, but it might be something else, some other kind of current trauma. So that's one way. Now in the workplace, we actually can use what we call management referrals to get people into coaching. Yeah. And so,
I like that.
Yeah. Quite honestly, I will oftentimes just start and say, what's working for you and what's not? And oftentimes just that kind of question will get them to realize there isn't a whole lot that's working very well for them. How are your work relationships? How are your family relationships? What about with your kids? What about your friends? And so you usually find then there's a pattern of not real quality relationships or troubled relationships or even broken off relationships.
And if you have a difficult boss, say you're the employee and the boss is a problem, how do we overcome that? What is the best way to go about working with the higher ups to deal with that? Because sometimes when we say something about our boss, then we're not there anymore, right?
Yes, that is a challenging situation and yet one that we frequently deal with. And in fact, it's so prevalent, I'll let you know that there are a couple of major studies done over the last 20 years that show that 60% of people who leave their jobs is actually due to unresolved conflict with their boss.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrible.
60%?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so if companies knew that they were having a turnover of 60% because the boss was in the way, wouldn't you think that they'd want to know that and make that change right then and there?
You would think so. Now the challenge is, and I've certainly seen many companies who just turn a blind eye to really bad bossing behavior because unfortunately they also tend to be very technically competent and very successful in their jobs. And so sometimes
Problem.
Yeah.
Can't let them go because you need them too, right?
And yet, on the other hand, again, there have been a couple of studies done over the last 20 years, the most recent being in about 2008, that really show that the effects of conflict in today's work world in the U.S. alone is like around $359 billion.
Wow.
If you take into consideration the poor retention, then the cost of hiring and recruitment,
and training,
absenteeism, increased healthcare costs, increased work-related injuries, low productivity, inattention to detail and quality,
that's right,
lawsuits.
Yes.
It goes on and on.
Yeah.
And so it is a very costly venture. And I am glad to say that we are seeing businesses pick up a little bit more interest in doing something about this because the effects of this kind of conflict in the workplace is absolutely devastating. I've seen many people leave their jobs in poor mental and physical health because of the stress that they've experienced due to bad bossing.
Wow. That's awful.
Whew. Yeah.
But you raised a question I really didn't answer, and that was, what do you do with an employee who has a bad boss?
Yes.
And so, what can be done there then is that for employees then to seek help in terms of how to manage up.
Okay, manage up. Never heard
There's
that
a
term
new
before,
one.
but I love it.
Manage up.
Manage up.
Can you explain that?
Sure. And it's sort of taking the situation of where, if an employee is, seeking training, seeking coaching, then they are in turn equipped with some strategies for then how to deal with that kind of difficult behavior. And particularly through coaching, then we can sort of role play things out, actually talk about specific behaviors, and then equip that person with a framework of how to have a conversation, about a conversation to address those kinds of concerns. And so we shift it not to say, you're a bad boss, but instead, I know that you really want me to do the best job I can. I really want to do the best job I can for you. And yet when I'm spoken to in that way, I shut down. And so by helping the person have that kind of conversation in that kind of direction, it really sort of gets the attention of the boss then to say, well, how could we do this differently? Hi, I'm Dr. Debra Dupree. I help people uncover their pain points from past abuses, both emotional as well as physical, that get in the way of happiness and calm in their lives. What I do is I bring the neuroscience of human behavior to its simplest form so that even the most resistant and stuck person can get out of their own way. What you gain is recovery, just like I did, and discovery of 5 key ways of achieving happiness. You do this through my 30-30-30 program. So let me ask you, what's getting in your way?
Asha Mankowska holds an MA degree in journalism and PR, as well as a law degree. She is a fearless business and high-performance coach, consultant, trainer, branding expert, best-selling author, international motivational speaker, and is recognized by Forbes magazine as one of the top business and career coaches in America. Asha launched her first business at the age of 21 during her second year of law school and successfully built 3 companies in Europe from the ground up. Asha teaches clients from around the world how to achieve a healthy balance in their professional and personal lives. Asha is the founder of Speakers Bureau for Dynamic Women Entrepreneurs, the radio host of Crush Fears with Asha, and the host of a video podcast, Interviews with Asha, How to Grow Your Business. She co-authored the book, The Change 4, Manifest Your Greatness Today, and with Brian Tracy co-wrote Ignite Your Life.
We are so blessed to have Asha Mankowska here, an executive coach, ready to share her expertise with us. So welcome to the set, Asha.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's great. So first of all, I understand that you wrote a book. May I?
2, absolutely.
2. All right,
That's
first
the second
of all,
one.
This is the second book, Ignite Your Life. Can you share with us how this happened?
Well, after my first book, I started traveling and speaking in European countries like France, Poland, Germany, and also here. And in the middle of my speaking, I got a proposal from Brian Tracy to if I would like to contribute some, of my work here with him. And I said, of course, absolutely. It was such an honor because I think I grew up on his books about leadership and success. He's one of my mom's favorite authors. So that's how it started. And it was basically published 2 days before my birthday. So May 19th, we just published this, and right away it became a bestseller in 2 of my favorite categories, which is sales and marketing. Since I'm in branding and business, that cannot be better, right?
Oh my goodness, that's perfect. So you're in branding and business.
Yes.
That means that you get out and you coach executives.
Yes.
On how to, you tell me, what do you do when you coach them? What do you get them to do?
Everything.
Let's start with one thing.
Just, come on, just one. It's impossible. I know, just to start with. That's so true. One issue and then one solution. That's fantastic. Well, first of all, I think when I'm working with my leaders, I have a talent of recognizing, as my clients love to call it, their $1 million value.
Nice.
So not everyone knows where their real passion is, where their real talents. I can actually see that, their strength versus their weaknesses. And I can also identify their blind spots.
Nice.
And something that is holding them back, right? So when we can remove that part, they can actually design business around their life. so they can actually spend time with their family and actually have the multiple 6 and 7 figure business that they want and dream of. Especially with women, I think, because I love to work with men and women, don't get me wrong. But I think women, we were put in certain spot when we were growing up that we were supposed to be the one supportive, right, towards others. And sometimes there is a lack of confidence or unappreciating our amazing skills and values that we have and what we bring to the table as bosses, as business owners. And that's the problem with sometimes pricing and packaging.
Oh,
too.
yes.
So that's the next step, right?
Yes.
So after recognizing what's their real value, what's their passion and skills and talents, business model. What's the right business model that will fit your life? Not opposite. Not, what kind of life should you have around your work, right?
That's so smart, because there's so many entrepreneurs that are burnt out after a short period of time because they don't have somebody like you that's empowering them to have a life in addition to their business.
Absolutely.
Right.
So true.
And I see so many of them go down. They don't even check to see before they get into their business whether it's going to be a business that's going to fly or not.
Absolutely.
Do you see that too?
Yes, I think the highest challenge, the biggest challenge what business people experience, either smaller business or bigger corporation, is availability to be leveraged, which means are you creating the business for life? Is it attached to you? And your clients are loyal to you, to Asha, right? Or you can actually sell the business. So, and then create another and another. And some people just, they so much create their business around themselves and their relationships with clients. They forget, you know what, I would like to retire from time to time, or maybe move on to something different, right?
Yes.
And here we go. They stuck, they trapped, and there is no way out. So it's just before even starting business, it's wonderful to create the business model with this in mind. Would I like to sell it? Or would I like to keep it for life?
Yes.
Yeah. And I so know what you mean, because the company that I had for 17 years was just like that. I tried to sell it. But because I had license in real estate, I had a license in notary, I knew how to run the business, I had to do management, I had 23,000 people working under me, I couldn't get anybody to buy it. And I really came on the keep it simple, stupid. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all these years I've built this company and now I can't sell it because everybody's too afraid because there's so many layers to it.
That's so true. That's so true. And you know what? It's actually that's the biggest challenge too, because entrepreneurs, we think we are perfect and no one else can do even better job than we can do. So there's issue with delegating, my dear entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And that's, that's the layers, that's lack of layers. And everything over a sudden, the boss, it's becoming the employee, right, of their business. Because there is no work-life balance, there is no layers, he's not, or she, right, in our situation, she's thinking, you know what, I have to do everything. No, you don't. And there is, that's why the burnt out is happening. That's why profit income is going down. Expenses are rising because, we're hiring people that shouldn't be hired.
Right.
Right? Boy, do we.
Exactly.
Curious to know, Lori, what was your biggest aha during the class?
Figuring out how to say what I do in 4 to 5 words. This has been so exciting because now when I network and someone asks me what I do, I can say it so succinctly and very excited to the point that women say, I want to work.
Oh, wow. Talk about change. You know, I'm a change agent here. And I tell you, I was resistant. And I did move forward and I did risk only because Shirlene was so gentle and supportive for that process.
I am so excited to be able to reach so many women now, whereas before it was one-on-one, and now I can reach the masses.
The masses. Massive visibility for massive income, right?
Yes.
When I actually talk with my leaders, we do a lot of points and biggest mistakes and what they're supposed to do as leaders and how they're supposed to build their team, that they can delegate the work as well, right?
Nice, nice. I know that is a big problem with entrepreneurs feeling that they have to do it all themselves or it's not going to get done right.
Right.
That comes down to educating who it is that you're delegating to properly, right?
Yes.
And I think that that's one of the things that successful companies do is they have manuals written up and they said, here's the steps you need to take to get this done. Just follow that. And then they don't have to spend so much time trying to train, right?
You know, it's not even big companies, small companies too, but this is what I learned from my clients that are absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love them. That it's not about, you know, like manual, but it's everything is learnable. So all the skills that we are talking about doesn't take a genius really to have them.
Yes.
So we can learn everything. We can learn how to delegate, right? Yes. We can learn how to hire the right people. Sometimes we just, you know, like a little bit hesitant.
Yes, yes, I get it, and I think a lot of the times it's because if they own it, it's their baby. They want to make sure that their baby is like taken care of properly, right?
Yeah, of course.
So,
and it's not only that though. Some people really want to delegate, but they're stuck in that area of not making enough money in their business to be able to delegate it out.
Right.
How do they overcome that?
Well, there is many ways. Sometimes their business model, it's wrong, right? Because they attach too much of their clientele to themselves versus to the business. Sometimes the packages and the pricing is not right as well. They trading their time for money versus creating packages that will actually make them money, right? While they sleep.
yes.
Let's say lack of lead magnets as well. So I think the biggest challenge, and you ladies probably will confirm, of every single business owners I know, it's marketing and sales. Right? And advertising, of course, that it's...
Yes.
And people can spend so much money on this, right?
Yes.
The only thing is that when they have to spend so much money means their branding is not done right. Then branding and positioning. So branding and positioning is basically a foundation of your business. If this is done right, then basically you don't have to chase clients. Clients chase us, right?
That's beautiful. I love
exactly.
that. Yeah, I love that.
So then, of course, you're saving so much on the marketing and sales because basically people are buying in the moment when they hear about you and learn about you. So developing that type of tools, the lead magnets, how I love to call it, that will save so much time, so much effort, and of course, expenses.
Yeah.
So basically the marketing and sales, closing sales is no-brainer, not for you, for your client.
There you go. I love the way you flip that all around because you're right. So with the right branding, the right positioning, we're going to be able to have people attracted to us rather than having to chase them. They're going to chase us.
Yes, absolutely.
That's brilliant.
So really, you know, positioning you as go-to expert and giving you the right visibility, as you ladies know, exposure to media depends, of course, on your business or product that, you know, we're offering. It's everything. It's just everything. When foundation is done right, everything else just fall into place. And just imagine the time that you're gaining to spend with your family, your loved ones.
You mean we could have a life?
Yes, we can. And actually enjoy it. I know. Perfect.
I know.
A life outside of our business.
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Great
So,
to hear it.
so really, I think the biggest challenge, just summarizing, is how to create consistent and sustainable business that will produce the consistent and sustainable income, bigger and bigger, without us working all the time on a business, so we can actually spend the time on ourselves. We have to put us first. You have to create a muscle of success and exercise it.
That is a really good point.
It is.
And I think you've learned today how to take care of a difficult boss, that's one thing, and how to build relationship. And now you've learned from Asha how to have your clients contact you rather than you chasing them.
Beautiful. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.